Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again with an update on the Divine Ire Totem build that just then completed most of the endgame, well, all of the endgame, and has done it all a couple of times. I also took it through my pretty much deepest delve, which at this point is actually getting kind of deep, like 550-ish, and it's pretty messy. Like, some of this stuff can have really bad mods and just straight up one-shot me. So as you can see in this clip, I have to take off my Quicksilver, I have to run a basalt flask, I have to take it pretty slow, pretty methodical, but it does handle these depths eventually once you get your kind of playstyle a little bit adjusted to just deep delving rather than speed mapping and blasting through other types of content. The damage is really good, and you do pretty much one-shot any rare, any regular monsters that come out, even at this depth, and it's not a bad playstyle overall, but there are complications where certain types of mods can be really detrimental to the progress. Like if things have onslaught and faster attack, faster move. When they're that fast, totem builds really suffer from the playstyle difference there, because you really need the initiative on the attack, and it's hard to get that when things are so freaking fast. This isn't any sort of example of a really hard depth or delve node. It's just got a lot of damage, but otherwise it's pretty cruisy, and you just have to avoid getting hit by most stuff. But the Divine Ire totems themselves are actually really quite strong, and I still do stand by them probably being one of the strongest totems at the moment, possibly comparative or rivaling, let's say, Ice Spear, maybe also Arc. The single target is absolutely insane, probably potentially one of the best single targets for totems you can get. I'd say only Ice Spear would be one I'd consider close, potentially, but Arc itself should have probably better clear speed. So I'd say all three of those types of totem builds could be used as starters for the next league if things don't, get shaken up too much in the patch notes. But I think those are still very much the three contender totem builds. They're just going to be a little different in what they do. Clear, single target, gearing, that sort of thing. But overall, I do think totem builds are in a decent spot and should be pretty damn handy for the tower defense mechanics. Though we haven't really experienced it or seen too much of it ourselves, it just does seem that totem playstyles might be pretty good for it. The actual mapping of totem builds, or this totem build, doesn't feel too great, I don't think. I'm just really not a big fan of the having to put your totems down and then kind of run around playstyle. It means that you don't have initiative a lot of the time in the fights, because you're trying to go fast, but to do that, you have to put your totems down in front of you always and be a little bit safe. And it's just makes for a bit of a wonky playstyle. So I did do plenty of these sort of double beyond maps, which helped out just a little bit, because the double beyond ones, you get your totems established, and anything that spawns after that just gets completely shit on, and it makes for just more of an enjoyable playstyle when you actually get to use the totems you just then placed. Rather than placing totem, thing dies, have to place a new totem immediately for the next pack. It gets a little repetitive having to do that, as opposed to running around, right-clicking the whole screen and just blowing it up with your regular skill. It's just a little bit more annoying with the totem playstyle. So the totems really start to shine in the actual pure endgame, when you get your totems down and get rewarded for it against the big bosses and all of that. Whereas for mapping, it's just a little annoying having to constantly place totems ahead of you. At least that's my opinion on the totem playstyle, because I'm never really been a big fan of it, but it is better than it's ever been, and it's at least tolerable, and then once again, fun in the end game. But the single target, once established with your totems, as you can see, is pretty nuts. This is a level 83 Lich zone, and we're just straight up freezing just about every boss we come against that lets us freeze them. We blast through the health of every boss as soon as you get your totems established. God forbid you press the focus button and start dealing 30% double damage, because that's when things go really off. And even Chimera ends up being a pretty good fight for us. You place 2 totems at each ad phase. put a storm brand down at each little ad area so that you're cursing things there as well, and they just take care of the rest for you. And then if Chimera gives you a second to wind up your laser beams, he'll easily die. We do have something like 1 million damage per totem, and I'm not quite sure how fast the cast speed on those is. Seems like probably about a second, so maybe 6 to 8 million DPS, something like that. Or you can just straight up delete some of these bosses from the server, as you can see here. And it is pretty satisfying doing that. So that's the character. I will leave you guys with the Uber Elder, which was possibly my fastest kill ever. It's been close between a few of these builds. And then also the 5-way, which wasn't terrific, but it was strong enough to do quite a few bars for these types of characters. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the videos, and see you next time. Easy double blasted. Easy double blasted again. Dude, this is actually on pace for like possibly the fastest elder ever for me, because we've skipped like a bunch of the long attacks and just double phased. This may end up being pretty fast. I didn't know any better. Is that straight into the portal? Oh my god. This could be the Omega fastest on the server ever. Fastest. World's speedrun record for Uber Elder. Don't fuck it up now. No, he got a slap attack off. Alright, he's dead. Is that a 112? 112?! I bet it was a 112. I'll review the clocks later. The bar, at least. This will be okay. I don't think it'll be super incredible. Primarily because procs bubbles are horrible. Oh, boss DPS is good, yeah. I'm gonna have the totems all like around him though. Very precisely. I might still die to this guy randomly. 0 frames, that's fair. Yeah, good deeps is hot. Still not instant or anything though, so maybe Conk is the right move. It's worth a try, I think. Next time I'm resetting, I'll swap into Conk. It takes a little longer to wind up, right? Which might be a DPS downgrade then. A big hit is a big hit though. Whoops. Yeah, that's cool. Just make some invisible statues that I can't bust. I don't know. I'm not sure there's like a right move. Both conk and faster attacks seem good. Oh god. That dot just wrecked my man. No. Try faster casting again. Maybe I can see something on the last phase or two. You get a lot more beams off, but they don't one-shot anywhere near as hard. Maybe that's good. I think that was definitely a slower kill than the average. Just there. I don't know, you like to see those. Another anomaly. A shaped profane. 86 shaped profane. That's worth a lot too. I've made some decent money back. A Val Blade. 2000 DPS? Does not look good.